Another point for Lancaster as the York shuttle doesn't clear the net. It seems like they've got this set fully in their grasp. Crowd getting excited here. Success just doesn't seem to be in the path for York. This is Henrik Svan's first time playing doubles. He won gold at Northern Conference in singles in the men's first. So playing in seconds just to find his legs in the doubles. And out of bounds again for York. And got a good rally going, but York hit the net again. York started that rally in offensive formation, but had to fall back into a defensive one. Oh, a fumble for Lancaster. Lancaster need to find 5 more points and now 4 more points to finish the set. Maybe the times are finally changing. York seems to be gaining back that point deficit. Or maybe not. Oh, and that wasn't a good serve by York, and it's another point for Lancaster. And that's the set complete. So that seems to be the first set complete on court 2. Now it's still going on court 3, and the score seems to be in the favor of Lancaster. York playing in offensive position, Lancaster playing more defensively. Hitting at a rally going to the back corners of the court, and Lancaster fumble it into the net. And set 2 is starting now on court 2. On court 1, have a rally going, and playing to the back half of the court, and Lancaster win the point. Court 3, Lancaster hits shuttle out of bounds, and that's another point for York. Playing on court 3 for Lancaster is Fassi Kip and Edward Parkinson. And playing for York, Leo and Ruben. Serve for York, and they're having a quick chat before they start playing in an offensive formation. And it's a fast rally that's going, and it's a point for Lancaster. Over on court 2, it seems to be a tight game this time. Oh, and a very good behind the back shot by Young. Seemed to be a last-ditch save. And a bad serve for York on court 3. Serve to Lancaster. The crowd getting rowdy with their noisemakers. It's good to see so many people out supporting the open second on such a dreary morning. Dynamic rally going on court 3, and it's a point for Lancaster as they hit it to the back right corner. Lancaster are coming from behind on court 2 as they trail York by 2 points. And it's a bad serve. They now trail York by 3 points. This isn't a game of domination that it seemed like it was as it was in the first set. And it seems like on court 3, they've finished their sets. Not clear on the winner, I can't see their scores. Young with the serve. But it's another point for Lancaster on court 2 as they now lead 12-6. Oh, and another fumble by York. This just isn't their day for Young and Barnett. Oh, and that was a good shot, and it came off his racket in the wrong way, and it not over the net, and it's another point for Lancaster on court 2. Getting a new shuckle and resetting. Both teams playing in a defensive formation. And it's another point for Lancaster. On court 1, the score is 8-14 to Lancaster, to York, sorry. And they're still on their first set of the game. And it's another point for York. Seems like they have the lay of the land here. getting a quick rally going. York playing quite fluidly between offense and defense positions, and that's a point for Lancaster. The players on court 1 are Felix and Alex for York, and Jasper and Matthew for Lancaster. Now the score on court 2 is currently at 19-13, favouring York. So they only need 2 more points to complete this set, and then it would be 1 even. Serve for Lancaster. And it's into the net. So point for York. And another point for York. And the set ends. And it's now 2 to Lancaster. So that's the match. I think they play the full 3 sets as the best of 9 between the 3 different doubles games. So every set counts. So that's still going on court 3 of the open seconds. And it's a point for Lancaster. The current score is 12-6. Make that 13-6. And it's a point for Lancaster. York positioning them in a defensive formation. Lancaster playing offensively, and it seems to be paying dividends. They score another point. They've got a rally going, and York hits it out of bounds. Oh, they really need these points. They're coming to the crucial end of the set. And it's a point for York as Lancaster hit the net. Lancaster with the serve. And it's point for York. Playing on court 3 is Ruben and Leo for York, and Fussy and Edward for Lancaster. And that's set over in court 3. Set 2 starts on court 1. It's King and Squire for York up against Jasper and Matthew. And current score is 4 to York, 2 to Lancaster, with Lancaster winning the first set. Lancaster with the serve. And there seems to be an issue with the racket for Squire. Served Lancaster. Oh, and a point for York as it just fumbles off the edge of a Lancaster racket. The score is now 6-3. Score is now even on court 1. And that's a point for York as Lancaster hits it into the net. This is a neck and neck game. And another point for York. Another rally is getting going. Oh! And Lancaster tried to make a shot just over the net to catch York out, but didn't pay off. The score is now 12-7 to York. Make that 12-8 to York, as the rally just didn't get going. Served Lancaster, and they managed to do it successfully, earning another point and score now 13-10. They have time to claw this back, as it's the first 21 that wins the set. And another point. They seem to be rallying here later in the game. Oh, but the serve just was out of bounds, right to the back corner. Roses really is an incredible experience for the players. And the crowd's certainly enjoying it too. It's neck and neck as the score is 14-13, favouring York. 15-13, favouring York. Oh, but the serve is out of bounds for York. This is a really dynamic game. No team can get the upper hand. Oh, and it's fly shuttle. Oh, but the rally from York just doesn't make it back over the net. And it's now even at 15. Oh, and Lancaster went for the shot, but it seems like it was out of bounds, still sliding on the scoring. And it's a point for Lancaster. Oh, but the shuttle just didn't have the movement he wanted. And it fell off behind him for Lancaster. And it's now 17-15 to York. Lancaster finally seem to be pulling ahead as they now lead York by 3 points. And now they only need one more point to complete the set and lead by 2-0. Oh, but York aren't letting it end too quickly as they gain another point, and it's now 20-17. It would be a real feat if York could manage to claw this back. If they manage to draw even on 20, it goes to the first the first team to lead by 2 points take the game. Ah, but Lancaster have done it, and that completes the set.
Alright, you have that one, I'll have this one. Yippee. Is this on? No. I don't want to. Testing, 1, 2. Good. Say the warming up on the court is warming up, they're getting ready to go on court 3, and they continue, and it's fairly even score.
Warming up now on court 3 for their third set of the day. This is the open second.
You are listening on 95.3 Berwick FM and York Radio. Yeah, this is the Badminton Open second on court 1. It's very, very tight. It's 1 set all and 2 points each. And they're just warming up on court 3 in preparation for their next match. I mean, I don't know about you, but this is very exciting.
It really is. Some of the games have had really interesting dynamics. As on court 2, it was quite a dominant performance for Lancaster.
Yeah, and we're looking at court 1 at the minute, and the amount of just massive, massive power shots from the York team. It's absolutely amazing to watch. But then again, Lancaster have been doing really well, I know as well. And drop shot there from one of the Lancaster, and it's in the net for York. Another point to Lancaster, 4-3.
This definitely is one of the most evenly matched competitions of the day.
No, genuinely, I've been watching this. It's very, very well balanced. Nice get there from the York team. Lob, and they're still going on. And it's another point for York. Nice overhead there from the York team to seal out the point.
York today seems to be playing really well between offensive and defensive formations, whereas Lancaster maybe seem to be faltering in their positioning with each other.
Yeah, at the minute it seems that Lancaster have been on the back foot. But yeah, at the minute it's 6-3, I think, York. I don't know. Oh, no, sorry, correction, 6-4 to Lancaster. My bad.
And it's an out-of-bounds serve for Lancaster.
Yep. An unfortunate, unlucky return there from the Lancaster team. 5-6 to York. Brilliant point from York, the Lancaster team there. They take it back to 7-5. It's on their serve. I mean, that was judged to, I think, perfection almost. That was a brilliant shot in the tram lines. Lob from Lancaster, overhead from York to see out the point. 6-7, York.
They really are some evenly matched players here.
Overheads from both the teams, and it's Lancaster who come out on top.
Oh, it just
Brilliant
fumbled
point.
off his racket.
Yeah, I know. These points are just, they're absolutely amazing. Currently the score is 8-6 to Lancaster. Brilliant set of shots. Oh, wow. That was very, very, very unfortunate there from the York team. Just clipped the net, nearly went over. Lancaster serve. Lob overhead from York. They're on the attack at the minute. But Lancaster's defence is amazing. And that was a great shot from one of the York players. 7-9, York to serve. This is hugely, hugely tight.
It's just back and forth constantly.
I mean, we've been talking about this, and now already the other court started. Unfortunately, we can't, from where we're standing, see the scoreboard. But what we can see is it's equally as tight. But court 1 at the minute, I think, is really taking. Court 1 is just absolutely on fire.
Oh, and it's into the net for Lancaster, and that's another point for York. And it's now
9-all.
Yeah.
But I mean, if we're looking at court 3 as well, the shots they're making are amazing. Both on the attack and defence throughout the point they're just playing now. And York unfortunately hit it out. But court 1 is very, very, very close. It's, I think, 1 set all and 10-9 to Lancaster, who are just serving now.
This is a fight right to the end.
Spike from York. Overheads from both. York are on the defence at the minute. And a great drop shot to take it to 11-9 to York. 11-9 to Lancaster. My brain's not working. Sorry about this. Amazing commentary.
And a little bit of a break
3,
on
they've
court
just
1.
started another point. Lancaster on the attack, and that was a great point. Amazing, massive overheads. They're just taking a quick break on court 1, but court 3's action is still going strong. York just made a massive return. As I said, unfortunately, we can't see the scoreboard, but I imagine it's going to be just as close.
Well, they seem to be certainly evenly matched, and the serve is changing between sides rapidly.
Yeah. And court 1 is about to start yet again. But yeah, court 3 is still very, very, very close. Lancaster are just serving now. And court 1's just started with an amazing shot from one of the York players right down the line. It's 10-11 on court 1 to Lancaster. And if we're looking at court 3 as well, that's an amazing shot.
Out of bounds for York, and the point to Lancaster.
I mean, Lancaster are playing brilliantly, but that was just an amazingly set up point.
Oh, and off the racket for York, and is that another point for Lancaster?
And Lancaster are very much on the defence on court 1. York, and it's just out. What an unfortunate point. Both teams tried so hard, but Lancaster was just on the defence from the beginning. 11-12 to Lancaster, but York are now serving.
For some of these players, it's their last roses. So they really want to come out on top. And
and if you can see on court 3, wow, that was unfortunate. I was going to say York were on the attack very much. They just hit a very good overhead. But unfortunately, it clipped one of the players' rackets and they didn't quite connect with the shuttlecock.
And now it's out of bounds and it's serve again to Lancaster, so they score another point.
But court 1 is absolutely amazing. They've been playing hugely tight points, but York just hit that last shot into the net.
And maybe these tides finally changing.
Lancaster, and they're serving. Lob from Lancaster, overhead and an out of bounds return. It means another point to York. 14-12 to Lancaster. York to serve. And court 3 is going well. York were on the attack just there. Lancaster unfortunately couldn't defend. It went into the net. And yeah, I really wish we could see the scoreboard. It would very much be helpful, but unfortunately nothing we can do about that. Microphone cables are only so long. But back to court 1, it is 15-12 to Lancaster. Lancaster serving. And unfortunately it is a foul serve. Point to York. 13-15, York serving.
Lancaster now playing defensive formations. They try and claw this back.
Yeah.
They don't want to let the score get to 21 and the win go to York.
Great point from York. They were on the attack straight after the return. Great point. It is 15-14 to Lancaster, but it's York to serve. Wow. Wasn't the most powerful shot in the world, I think you'll agree, on court one. But it did the trick straight past the player, right down the line, worked brilliantly.
Yeah, sometimes the shots that don't seem as powerful are the ones that win you the game.
Yeah, and if you look at court three, look at that. The series of points there, massive set of shots from Lancaster and York. Unfortunately, a miss hit from Lancaster means the point went to York.
Oh, and on
another
court
unfortunate
three.
net shot at court one, though. It's 17-15 to Lancaster, but York to serve. Overhead from York, but Lancaster are now on the attack. Brilliant defence, but unfortunately hit twice by York, so point to Lancaster. 18-15 to Lancaster. On court three, Lancaster are serving. Great set of returns from York, and it's just out of bounds for Lancaster. Point to York.
The points seem even on court three,
yeah,
as it's 15-all.
All seems very even. I mean, they're both playing absolutely brilliantly here. I mean, I don't know about you. This is very good. I'm loving this. I'm a big fan of badminton, and this is absolutely amazing. Overhead from Lancaster on court one, did the trick. York managed to return it, but it was too much. It went out of bounds. It is 19-16 to Lancaster on court one. York is serving on court number three.
They need only two more points to take the set.
Very tight overhead from Lancaster on court number three. They are on the attack. Went into the net. I think that was point to York. But court one, yet again, Lancaster on the attack.
They've got a really long rally here going.
Such defence on court one. Absolutely amazing. And good coordination from the team for York. Great switch to win the point. York to serve on court number three as well. It is very close here. Series of attack shots. That, I think, was that it? Yeah, that was just in. It touched the line on court number three. That was a great shot. Very tight
on
here.
Court number three, the score is 18-17 to Lancaster.
Can you see it?
Just about.
That's good. Right, and it's 19-18 and one set all on court number one.
And
it
it's
is
even
very tight.
It's even again on court three as they hold even at 18.
Yeah, it is 20-18, one set apiece. 20-18 to Lancaster. They are serving. This is so tight. Overhead from Lancaster, York, and Lancaster just couldn't defend that. It was a great shot from York. 20-19 is the score currently. Court number three is just electric as well. I mean, the points they're playing. I think they've done it.
Lancaster has won the game on
21.
court one.
They've won the match on court one. 2-1. 21-19, but York made them go all the way. They pushed them throughout the entirety of that match. It was great.
Jasper and Matty must be really impressed with their performance.
Yeah, that was absolutely amazing. And if you can just see the scoreboard on court three, but it's so close.
And it's the win for...
Yeah, it's just amazing.
Someone.
I think they've just gone. Have they finished? Or are they on a break?
Won the game,
I think they might be on a break. We don't know. This is the amazing thing about live commentating. You never know what's going to happen.
I think the game has been won, but I can't tell which side.
As I said, or they might. It might have been won. Have they moved the scoreboard? You never know. We can't. This is the amazing. We're on the balcony here in Sports Centre, Sports Hall 1A. It's so much fun.
And if you want to catch some more badminton, there's the women's seconds going on.
Yeah, that's also on at the minute. I think they're warming up for the next round of matches. Yeah, that is looking good. I think it was that they're just on a break on court three, back to the open second. I think it is. They've just been on a break. They're about to get back on. They've been discussing, I think, strategies, with other team members. I don't know, possibly. I think they're about to get back on and get on with play back on court three. No.
They've reset the scoreboard on court 3, so it looks like they're preparing for the new set.
That's the other side. But yeah, I don't know about you. This has been great fun. Watching this, it's been the matches I've seen, they are so close.
It really has. It's a really exciting competition and a rematch after both teams were at the Northern Conference a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I think it is actually a new match on court number 3. They are just getting underway and getting ready to play.
And it's Fussy and Edwards for Lancaster, and Theo and Arthur for York.
Oh, you got it up. That's great. I haven't. You're more prepared than me. Ah, yay. Ah, that's good. But yeah, as I said, they're warming up, I think, on court number 1 now. And court number 2, I think we've got some singles matches going on, possibly.
I think they're warming up for their 3rd set of the day. And on court 2, Lancaster have won both by quite some margin.
Have they?
Yes, they have. It was a really exciting game. Henrik Fan on court 2 for Lancaster won gold in the men's first at the Northern Conference. Also in table tennis, so he's quite the sportsman.
Multifaceted, that's great. But yeah, I think they are just about ready to, I think they are just starting here on court number 3. I can't see the score.
Neither can I.
But no, they have just started on court 3. It's absolutely amazing. Body shot from Lancaster to York. And it's, yet again, I think it's just very close. I mean, you'll probably agree with me. But I think so far in Roses, certainly in the badminton fixtures we've had, it's just been so tight.
These teams really are strong and they know how to play this game.
Very well. And yeah, it's why they are at Roses. They are some of the best players from York and Lancaster respectively. And it's just amazing. I think that was it was. I think that shot was out of bounds from Lancaster. York is serving on court 3. Overhead from Lancaster.
Oh, and it seems to be hit a passers-by. It was headed to be out of bounds irregardless, so hopefully it wasn't too much of a problem.
And as you can see, they're also practicing on courts 1 and 2. I think that could be in preparation for another match, maybe doubles, I think. But yeah, Lancaster are serving on court number 3. And that was a great shot, I think, from York. Just a bit too far wide to get, a bit far out to reach almost for the Lancaster team. And that one hit the net as well. That was very unfortunate.
It's another
York
point
team at
to
the minute,
York.
I think, are capitalising on a few errors from Lancaster.
Yeah, the even game is translating into the 3rd set.
But that was, I think, a miss from York. That was a foul serve. I think it's a foul serve. I don't know. It didn't go past the service line. And that was an amazing shot from Lancaster.
That was
lightning fast overhead.
It was amazing. Couldn't quite connect with it for York.
Lancaster serve. And it went in the net. Very unfortunate for York. That would have been a great overhead. Unfortunately, missed though. Lancaster still to serve. And yeah, York are now serving again on court number 3. And we've got some action on court number 2. I think they are just getting warmed up in preparation for the next matches. But yeah, Lancaster now serving, and high shot from Lancaster and a great overhead from York there.
Was it
out?
I think that was in bounds.
No, I think that one was out of bounds because Lancaster is serving. That was in though. That was great. That was a great shot from York there, right in the corner, out of reach of both of the Lancaster players, unfortunately.
Really controlling the placement of their shuttle.
And unfortunately, that was, I think, another foul serve from York. They don't make many of those. You rarely ever see those in badminton. It's been absolutely great play, though. And that was a great set. That was an attacking point from Lancaster. Set of overheads, really powerful overheads from the very, very start.
York managed to make
York
contact with the
much time
shuttle,
to
but just couldn't put any power into it.
Yeah, they were very much on the back foot defending there.
Lancaster playing in the
another great overhead from Lancaster. York got it. York managed to return it this time, but unfortunately not in time enough. It went into the net.
York
great overhead from York there now on the attack. Went into the net. I think in the minute York are making a few errors on court number 3. And if you look at the other courts, I think they're just warming up in preparation for matches. But yeah, we are at the minute focusing on court number 3 because it is absolutely electric. I mean, the amount, they're all attacking and defending at various different points. Wow, that was an amazing shot from Lancaster there.
I think it was out of bounds and point to York.
It's just in bounds. Really great backhands at the net to seal the point. And that went into the net. Unfortunately, tried to do a drop shot from Lancaster, and York get the point. York serve.
For any people watching their friends in badminton for the first time.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of people. A lot of people. There's not many spare seats. York serve again, and unfortunately the return from Lancaster into the net. I say it's very, very tight. Teams aren't making that many errors today. It's been very great to watch.
York seems to be changing their strategy a bit and starting to serve in more of an offensive position rather than falling back on the defensive one. They've lost them quite a few points so far.
Yeah. And York is serving. And something's happened. I think someone might have clipped the shuttlecock, so it might have been a double touch there from York. Lancaster served. York very much were on the attack just until recently. Didn't quite get enough power on the last shot. It unfortunately went into the net. It's Lancaster to serve.
Yeah, sometimes those risky plays just don't pay off.
But unfortunately, when you're at this level against York, you're both very competitive. You have to go for the risky moves.
Yeah, they're collectively playing for
just
2
that
points.
Last point, they had a massive overhead. Drop shot from Lancaster, lob from York. Overhead, another drop shot from Lancaster, and a drop shot to seal the point. That was great play from both teams. The lob from York was absolutely great, but it was even better, and I think they might have finished. Yeah, the match on court 3 has finished. I think Lancaster might have taken it, but that was so tight. That was just amazing play from both teams, both pushing each other around the court, forcing errors out of them.
And it's so important when in the open doubles they're competing, the open second doubles they're competing for 2 points, which is so crucial in trying
it's absolutely crucial. I mean, I think it was yesterday, it was like less than a point difference overall. Every single point counts in this competition.
And after Lancaster won away last year, they'll hope to do the same. And
yeah. And I think court 1 is almost ready to start. They've got the scoreboard reset. We're almost ready to go there. And I think we've got a new set of people getting ready and warmed up to go on court number 3 as well. Quite a lot of action. Yeah, and they've just started in court number 1.
On court number 1 for Lancaster, it's Henrik Fan and Tom Gale.
They're to serve.
And for York on court
serve,
1.
Deep serve, drop shots from Lancaster. So overhead from Lancaster as well to seal out the point. 1-1.
This is the team that so far won 2 of their sets.
2-1 to Lancaster. That was a great point. Lob from Lancaster. Lob from York. Overhead from Lancaster. But unfortunately, the return from York was absolutely amazing, and York get the point, 2-2.
But it's a bad serve for York, and it's another point for Lancaster.
3-2 to Lancaster. Lancaster serve. Lancaster serve. Great shot return from York. Drop shot from York. Lob from Lancaster. Smash from York. And that just landed out. It is 3-3. I think this is going to be another very, very tight match. York serve, 3-3. Overhead from Lancaster to seal it. 4-3 to Lancaster.
And it's a fumble off
I think they're
the
just
racket
starting
for
on
York.
court 3 as well. We can't see the scoreboard, but I think they might just have started, or at the very least they're warming up. But on court number 1, it is extraordinarily tight. It is 4-all with York to serve. And I think they have actually started on court number 3. Yeah, they are. York is serving. Drop shot from Lancaster on court 3 seals the point.
There seems to be a closer
very
game.
Enthusiastic crowd as well.
It really is. It seems to be a closer game on court 1 than has been previously.
Oh, and that was unfortunate from Lancaster. Tried to hit a big return and it didn't unfortunately pay off. But in this, you have to hit big returns, otherwise you are not going to get the point. Oh, an unfortunate miss from York there. 5-6. 6-5 to York, but Lancaster to serve. And on court 3, Lancaster are just about to serve.
A bad return for York, and it's now 6-all.
Oh, great set of shots on court number 3 if you're looking just now. Unfortunately, just finished by a miss hit, went into the net from York. And it's, oh God, it's very close from Lancaster on court number 1. They're leading 7-6 and they're serving. Very, very close, but unfortunately that serve was just out. It is now 7-all on court number 1. York to serve, and that went into the net, another unfortunate return. It is 8-7 to York, and York is serving on court number 1.
Henrik Fan will be kicking himself for that mistake.
And that was, I think, just out of bounds, unfortunately, from the Lancaster player. They tried to hit, I think, a drop shot there, didn't quite pay off. Lancaster are serving on court 1. Lob from York, overhead from Lancaster, another one. York's defence was absolutely amazing during that point, not quite good enough though. 9-8 to York.
Found himself in the way of a shuttle that he really wished he could have made contact with.
Just a heads up, unfortunately I have no brain today, so I will get the teams mixed up, despite the fact that one's wearing white and one's wearing red.
And the whole rounding for this rose is roses is red.
Yeah. But in terms of media, roses are pink. We have to be unbiased. So it is oh no, it's York to serve. And that was a great, oh no, that was just out of bounds from York. It is 10-9 to Lancaster. This is so close. And it is on court 3 as well. Great defence from Lancaster. York are on the attack. Great set of shots. It's very evenly mixed. Now I think Lancaster are on the attack. York's shot was out of bounds, point to Lancaster. And that was a great set of points as well on court number 1. Great shot at the net to finish the point. I
feel like York are really enjoying themselves and having
I think
being more successful now because there's no pressure. They've already they've lost the prior 2 sets, so this one is just to try and win them. And
that was another point on court 1 to Lancaster. Unfortunate return from York. Overhead shot from York. Drop shot at the net from York as well. Now Lancaster on the attack, York on the defence, and that was a great shot from Lancaster. Another point to Lancaster. 13-9 to Lancaster on court number 1. Very, very tight on court number 3 as well, but York to serve on court number 3. Lob from Lancaster on court number 1, and Lancaster unfortunately hit it into the net. It was great defence from York. Great
Maybe
play.
Getting a bit too confident there for Lancaster as they started to get a bit of a lead for the first time in the set.
Yeah, and it's very, very tight on court number 3. Unfortunately, York just hit it into the net, so it was point to Lancaster. But it's very, very close. And Lancaster were on the attack there. Great set of overheads to take it to 14-10 to Lancaster in this opening set. And if you look on court 3 as well, set of lobs, you've got the overheads, and it's great. That was nearly in. I think that might have just gone out for York. There's a great set of attacking shots in the net from York. Yep, Lancaster are now to serve on court 3, so unfortunately that was a miss from York. And a great shot from Lancaster again. Went right over the head of one of the players of York.
They really seem to be keeping that 4-point lead that even if York managed to
pull
pull anything back,
they might. The question is, can York pull something back and close out the set?
Oh, it seems not.
I said they're definitely giving them a run for their money. That much we do know.
Oh, and the serve was out of bounds. Lancaster
it's now 16-12 on court 1. York serve. It is so close. 16-13 now on court number 1. And court number 3 is absolutely amazing. Great overhead from York. But I don't know about you, this is just electric. It's just been absolutely amazing.
The atmosphere really is amazing. We really appreciate everyone coming out so early in the morning.
The crowds, everyone. And obviously the players are playing amazingly. It's currently 16-14 to Lancaster on court 1, but York to serve. Overhead from Lancaster unfortunately went out of bounds. Now 15-16. This is absolutely amazing. This is just as tight as the previous match that was on court 1. And court number 3 is looking very good as well.
Oh, and it's
Lancaster
into the net for
serve.
Lancaster as Tom Gale makes a mistake.
As I said, both teams are making only a very few. There's only a few set of errors that are going ahead. Great get from Lancaster. Amazing defence. Unfortunately, it wasn't quite enough. York were determined to win that point there. Great set of overheads to seal it out. It is currently 17-16 to Lancaster on court number 1.
York are really pulling ahead late in the game. And it's another point and they finally pull even.
17 all. If you're joining us right now on Berwick 95.3 Berwick FM or URY, this is open second. We're currently focusing on court 1. It is 18-17 to Lancaster. Lancaster to serve. It is just so
one of the most dynamic games of the day.
Absolutely brilliant. You win. One team wins 1 point, the other team wins the next point, almost guaranteed so far. But it's a great attack from Lancaster. Great set of drop shots and overheads, and that was an amazing set of shots to seal out the point. 19-17 to Lancaster.
Only 2 more points until they win the set.
And it is going great. Oh, and I think they might have just finished the set on court number 3. But that has been very close as well. But now we go back
York
to
need a miracle here to try and...
2018. And they did it! That was an amazing shot from York. Lancaster just couldn't get there in time. 2018 to Lancaster. York to serve. Lob from Lancaster. Overheads from York. Now York on the defence, and it's the set to Lancaster. There's great defence from York there at the end, just not quite enough to seal it. Unfortunately, Lancaster were just too strong there in the end.
We don't have any official tallies yet for the 3 doubles, but it seems to me like it was a really close match, but Lancaster just seemed to be getting more sets in the bank.
I said Lancaster definitely very settled here. But I think both teams are playing absolutely amazing. It's been so close throughout. And
York seem to have a real strength as well in moving between attacking and defensive formations.
Certainly the team that we're looking at on court 1, they have a great set of defensive shots. It has been absolutely brilliant watching them compete because it's just been so close. I mean, I think both of them are fairly good at attacking, but it's just been so close from both teams. Their defence has been absolutely amazing so far.
If you want to catch some more live badminton, there seems to be some sets still going on the women's second.
Yeah, women's second is going amazing. So that's on another stream. If you go to roseslive.com, you'll be able to find that.
And you'll be able to find a full schedule for all of the events that are taking place today and tomorrow.
So yeah, thank you for tuning in to 95.3 Berwick FM and York Radio. I'm not sure what the frequency is. Whatever York Radio frequency is, thank you for tuning in anyway. As this is the men's open second. Play has gotten back underway for court number 3. Is it a new fixture? It might be a new fixture as well.
On court 3, it seems to be Leo and Ruben for York, and Jasper and Matthew for Lancaster.
Yep, play has just gotten underway. York to serve. And on court 3, lob from York. Overhead from Lancaster goes into the net. Point to York. Quite unfortunate there from Lancaster.
Yeah, sometimes the shots that you really want to pay off just don't translate.
Oh no, I know exactly what I mean. I'm a tennis player by I would say by trade, but by tradition. And yeah, occasionally not all your shots pay off, but those ones just there did from Lancaster. Great way to seal out the point. Lancaster now to serve, and it seems we're back in play on court number 1. Great overhead from Lancaster's on court 3. Defence from York was good, but not good enough. York
just not enough power in that shot as it
wasn't.
went under the net.
Yeah, they just couldn't quite get the racket on it, and unfortunately there they hit the return into the net. Another point to Lancaster. Lob from Lancaster on court 3. Overhead from Lancaster. And it is very tight. Lancaster trying to break through the defence of York, and it goes long. Lancaster shot goes long, and it is point to York. Play has resumed on court number 1. It is Lancaster serving. They've just scored the first point. And it is getting away. Lob from York. Overhead from Lancaster. Wow, York's defence on court number 1 is absolutely awe-inspiring. I mean, Lancaster were giving it everything, but it wasn't quite enough.
That ends that
really was brilliant.
Really fast and exciting rally, just meeting the net.
These rallies are so tight and they're just very intense as well. Overhead from York on court number 1. Return from Lancaster was out of bounds. They couldn't quite get it back in the court and back in play. 2-1 to York on court
Another
number 1.
rally going on court 3.
Court number 3. Amazing defence from Lancaster. That was great.
And York trying to dive for the save there, but not quite managing it.
It was a great shot from York, but the defence and the returning shot from Lancaster was even better. Lancaster now on the attack on court number 3. But yet again, York's defence has been absolutely astounding. And that's gone out of bounds again. That is point to York on court number 3. York were also serving on court number 1. And a great set of shots from Lancaster to make it get them the point. It is 4-3 all on court number 1, and Lancaster to serve. York is serving on court number 3. Overheads from Lancaster team broke through the defence on court number 3. York's defences weren't quite just enough. But I mean, look at court number 1. Massive overhead.
Yeah, York managing to meet that really powerful smash by Henrik, but not quite managing to get it over the net.
Yeah. Both of them have crazy power shots, so I think you'll agree. And both have very good defences. But I think York's defences have particularly been on display so far, especially when Lancaster have been on the attacking side.
They really have. Anytime they fall behind, they manage to make up that deficit.
Currently, court 1, the score is 1 set to Lancaster and 5-4 to Lancaster. Lancaster to serve. And on court 3, York are serving. An overhead from York doesn't quite work out. Point to Lancaster. Lancaster to serve on court number 3.
No, it didn't seem like there was much power in that shuttle as he thought.
And it's currently 6-4 on court number 1 with 1 set to Lancaster. And a great shot. 6-5, that was an amazing. Did you see the drop shot that York produced? It barely went over the net. It's amazing way to seal it. 5-6 is the score. York serving.
All of these players.
Lancaster just lands in. 7-5 to Lancaster.
All of these players put so much work in, practicing for hours each week to make sure that they can match up against each other and create some incredible games.
Yep, and on court 3, unfortunately, York not just being able to match the attack for Lancaster. Lancaster's attack just a bit too strong. But it's an amazing set of points from both courts. So you don't know where to look. Unfortunately, court 3, one of the York players just hit it into the net. Couldn't quite get a racket on it. And the same goes for Lancaster players on court number 1. That was an amazing attack from York at the net. Brings them to York to 6-8 on court number 1. But Lancaster are attacking, and that was a great set of overheads.
That was incredible.
It was just non-stop. 9-6 to Lancaster on court number 1.
The power behind it just meant that there was almost no chance that York could return it.
Oh, lob from Lancaster. Overheads from York on court number 1. Lancaster couldn't quite get their racket on it and return it.
They
Great
seem to be
shots from
falling
York.
back defensively as York changing to
7-9 is the score. Lancaster leading in the second set but it is now 9-8 to Lancaster. The gap has shrunk between the two teams on court number 1, and it is just as tight on court number 3. An unfortunate serve from Lancaster on court number 3 just went a bit too long.
Oh, and just out of the reach of Lancaster on court 1, and it's
even.
Yeah.
On court number 1, that was a great set of shots. Yet again, as I said, getting through the defence of either of these teams is a very arduous task, but York just managed it. It's 9-all on court number 1. And Lancaster are serving on court number 3. Great set of points, and I think that might have just clipped. It did. That shot from York, very much a defensive shot, just clipped the line. It is 10-all on court number 1. Overheads from York on court number 1, followed by a drop shot lob from Lancaster. More overheads from York. Lancaster are very much on the defence, and Lancaster hit it into the net. It is 11-10 to York. For the first time in this set, I think they might be leading.
The strong start from
it might be the first time that they're leading in this set. It is so close, though.
The strong start for Lancaster seems to be paying now.
It was very much a strong start from Lancaster, but York are very much still in as they have come back.
Possibly the steady start leaves them more in the tank for later in the game.
It's also a great set of shots from York on court number 3. It is very, very close. Overhead from Lancaster on court number 1 seals the point. It is now 11-12 to York in the second set. And on court number 3, lob from York. Overheads from Lancaster. York's defence was good, but not quite good enough. Same could be said for court number 1. They kept defending, kept returning those overheads, but it wasn't enough. It's now 12-all on court number 1. A foul serve from Lancaster means that it's point to York on court number 3.
Serve for Lancaster on court number 1. And just delicately put it over the net, and the rally's going. And it's a bad shot for York as they lose another point.
Yeah, another point to Lancaster, but this is so close. I mean, Lancaster, I think, have just started attacking again, but it's been amazing to watch because both teams have been so good. And unfortunately, yet again, York's defence not quite enough to get them the point. 15-12 to Lancaster, court number 1. And I think they might just have finished on court number 3. Yeah, I think they have just finished on court number 3. Great set of points to finish it out.
A def serve for
still
York that
going
forced
on
Lancaster
court number
to
1, though. It's electric. It's so close. It's 15-14 to Lancaster. Now 16-14 after an amazing overhead.
strong rally going on court 1. And I think that was out of bounds for Lancaster. Oh no, it was in. Another point.
Another point to Lancaster, 17-14 now. It seems that they may be running away with this late in the set. But as I said, it's only a 3-point difference. You never know.
We've seen them overcome bigger deficits in the last set.
It's not an impossible amount to make up. It's just so close. Amazing shots from all of them, and a great shot from Lancaster. Really close to that. I think York may have been expecting an overhead, and it just dropped a bit short. It is 19-14 to Lancaster in the second set.
To take the set.
But great attack from York to get the point. 19-15 to keep them on the scoreboard.
They're not going down without a fight, and it's served to York.
And I very much think it's going to be a later. Oh, but that is out, unfortunately, from York. Takes it to 20-15 to Lancaster in the second set. Match point.
York need to give everything now to try and crawl
Lob
this
from York.
back.
Overhead from York. York are very much on the attack, but it goes into the net. 21-15, 2 sets to love on court number 1. Lancaster win. Unfortunate for York, but that was so close there. I think that genuinely could have gone either way. That was an amazing, amazing match.
It really was. York in the middle of that game gave it everything and managed to,
they really did
make
bring
it such a
back.
close fight.
They made it so close in the end.
But Lancaster just
They just pulled away again. As I said, they started strong and they finished strong. As I said, York, I think, capitalised on a few errors in the middle and made it count, but it wasn't quite enough.
seem to be warming up on court 2.
Yep,
their
York are warming up on
next
court
match.
number 2 in preparation for, I think, the next match. What is the next match out of interest? I know you've got the score sheet up with the schedule. But yes, we have got quite a few matches, I think, still left to play. We've got about an hour left, I think, of the
seems to
fixture.
be Theo and Arthur that will be playing next for York.
Yeah, and as I said, it's been very, very close so far. York, unfortunately, I think for the matches that we've been commentating on court 1 in particular, they haven't quite been able to make it all the way, but they've definitely pushed Lancaster as far as humanly possible. They've made it as difficult as possible to get there and get over the line. I think you'd agree, wouldn't you?
I really would. It's such close competition.
Oh, it is, definitely. And at the minute, there is just sort of a bit of an in-between as people warm up and prepare for the next matches, both on the open second and the women's second as well, which we're streaming from the sports hall. But yeah, it is 10:37. You are listening to 95.3 Bellrig FM or URY York's radio station, or maybe you're watching on Roses Live. Or however you're watching or listening, I hope you're enjoying so far. It's been great fun. And yeah, on the open second, York are just warming up in preparation for more matches. And we are also waiting on the women's second, but we're not commentating on that.
You have to catch the other stream on Roses Live.
Yep. And it seems, I think, Lancaster are also getting some players ready to warm up for the next set of matches. But yeah, I think this will be another close one. I think we've seen a few of these players before, and it's been very, very, very close. And I think in general, all the teams have been fairly well matched. They've got really, really good defence, both of them, but their attacking skills,
Yes,
especially overheads, are absolutely amazing.
there were only a few early sets where there was a decisive winner and it wasn't such an even game. But definitely, as the competition has been progressing, some of the matches have just been neck and neck throughout.
That's the best sort of match, though. The close ones are always really fun to watch. And I don't know about people watching now, but it is. I'm looking forward to this match. I think it'll be a very close one. I think, as I said, all the teams seem to have very good defence, especially some of York's teams. York's teams seem to have an amazing defence.
That seems to be a real strength of York. We just need them to have that early offence so that they can get ahead and use their strong defence.
They need to get on the offensive early. Otherwise, Lancaster will start to creep up into the scoreboard, and it's then very difficult to fight that back. But yeah, both teams' defence has been good. York's in particular, and the attacking as well from every single player.
Now
the
competing
shot
here.
making as well. Some of the shots have been right on the line, or only just been barely out. It's been so close. But the thing is, you have to go for those margins at this level because the competition is so good.
Now we're competing here in the open second for 2 points, and that's crucial when trying to make up the 172.5 points that you need for one university to come victorious in Roses. Lancaster currently stand at 68 points, and York are on 45.
Yeah, so I think York would definitely like to, win this match if they can.
But I think every individual player as well wants to win every single point.
Player wants to win for their own university and for themselves. But I think as a university, York's badminton team, probably want to win this if they can.
And it seems a new match has started on court 2.
Yeah, it seems that way. Both teams having to act defensively at times. And York's overhead unfortunately goes into the net. And we're now also getting a warm-up on court number 1.
Serve Lancaster on court 2, and it's a fumble by York, and it's point to Lancaster.
Yeah. Lancaster serve. And that very nearly went over from York. Very much clipped the net, and I think it could have been almost 50-50.
Yeah, trying to keep that low-speed rally up, and
yeah, trying to just play a drop shot is quite difficult. It's not the easiest thing, especially when you're stood in the middle of the court. You've got to run forward to get to the drop shots, because all these players are making amazing drop shots.
And it just seems to be that York are falling into a few mistakes and already falling behind really early in the game.
But amazing attack already on the return from York, and Lancaster's defence is not quite enough there. Point to York there. Lancaster are now on the attack again, and it's out of bounds from York. That is a point to Lancaster.
Now the question is whether we can see the scoreboard from here.
The answer is no, we cannot.
In the future, maybe we'll have to recommend that they stand on the opposite side of the court.
Possibly, but that very much depends on power cable access. Yippee! Great point from York there on court number 2. Great attacking shots. York is serving on court number 2. And that was, I think, it was unfortunate. It was just out from York. Lancaster to serve. Lob from York. Very high shots, and unfortunately Lancaster's goes a bit too long. Point to York there.
And now York serve.
Lancaster serve, and unfortunately I think that was that was a good serve.
Yeah, it was just out of the reach of the Lancaster player.
And that return went into the net. That is very unfortunate for Lancaster there.
Seems to be
2 very short, easy points there from
a much more balanced game than it appeared in the opening minutes.
But Lancaster at the minute seem to be stumbling slightly. York have taken the last few points, but I think Lancaster may have just taken that one back.
That shuttle managed to get past both of the York players.
Yeah, it was a great shot. Lancaster now to serve on court number 2. But York are very much on the attack with the overheads. But Lancaster's defence is so far really, really good. And now it's fairly even. Nearly a really good shot from York, but it was just a bit too far out of their reach to get over the net. And another unfortunate shot into the net for York there. Another point to Lancaster. And on foul serve from Lancaster, point to York. Great serve from York there.
Oh, and out of bounds for Lancaster.
York just started attacking immediately on that point. All Lancaster could do was defend. An unfortunate shot into the net there for York. Point to Lancaster. As we're also noticing everyone else is warming up as well on courts 1 and 3.
This game seems to be being defined on court 2 as a match of mistakes. You need to ensure that you don't hit it into the net, as that seems to be what's catching the players out.
Yeah, and that was yet again amazing It was almost Lancaster turned defence into attack there. They started out very much defending the point. They were on the back foot and managed to turn it around.
And Lancaster's commitment to an offensive formation seems to work there as they earn a point in the serve again.
And it is Lancaster currently to serve here on court number 2 for the open second, but that backhand was just into the net. I don't think the player could quite get their racket on the shuttlecock. And that's what we're doing. But yeah, Lancaster are now to serve on court number 2. Overheads from Lancaster. New York are very much on the defensive position. As we mentioned earlier, their defence is very good. They're still defending. And that was a great defensive shot from York. I don't think the Lancaster players thought that that was going in.
No, I don't think they did. That was a much more powerful rally that we've seen so far in this game. Oh, and it's a foul serve for York.
It just hit the top of the net there. Fortunately, it didn't go over. Both teams, I think Lancaster's now on the attack. It's so evenly matched here.
They're warming up on courts 1 and 3 for their next sets of the day.
And it seems, I think, at the very least, the set has finished on court number 2. And yeah, warm-ups continue on courts 1 and 3. Yeah, I think play may have, at the very least, they may be taking a break on court number 2, but it looks like they're nearly ready to play on court number 3, which would be interesting.
It really is such a intense play of sportsmanship that they're competing for hours here, on and off.
I know, I mean, the fixture here is 9 to 11:30, and they are very, very intense matches.
You have to have such a strong mindset to be able to switch so quickly between
great endurance as well.
Yeah. To have your matches and make sure that you're relaxed and not exhausting yourself for the later matches.
Definitely. And I think play might be nearly ready to resume back here on court number 2. If any of you guys can hear that, that is the women's second on the other stream. They are currently playing, and it is very, very tight so far. And I think just currently, in terms of open seconds, they're just discussing, I think, strategies and the teams are discussing in themselves, I think, different strategies and things to do. So.
Yeah, a huge part of this doubles is communication between
I think
your doubles partner.
Sport with like multiple people, communication is always key.
Interesting to see the different approaches as the matches have been playing, where some partners have quite intense conversations on the court, while others just seem to work more by their body language.
Yeah. As I said, when you play doubles, it's always very, very important to communicate clearly. But yeah, currently strategy discussions seem to be going underway for both teams for the open second.
York are definitely wanting to redeem themselves this year, as
definitely is. I think it was last year that
across the entire badminton, I think it was only the women's second that they were successful in.
I think overall last year it was very, very tight in terms of the overall rows. I think Lancaster only won by a small margin. I could be wrong.
I'm not a starter, but I know the badminton was a complete domination by Lancaster last year.
And at the minute, whilst it is a lot closer, from the matches we've seen, I think Lancaster has just had a slightly greater edge.
I think so. They had good performance at the Northern Conference recently, so they're continuing on their strong form.
But yeah, at the minute for the open second, as you can probably tell, it's a bit quiet. But I think it's about to start again. York players, I think, are about to go back to warming up on court number 2.
And if you fancy catching any other different sports, there seems to be squash starting soon, which you can find on Roses Live.
Yeah, we're right outside the squash court. We're not commentating, but we could definitely hear them, and you could definitely catch them. And we're back to warming up on court number 2 for York. Match soon to start, and similarly with court number 3, I think they have just started, in fact, on court number 3. Lancaster are to serve. But yes, if you are joining us on UOI, Berwick FM, LA1 TV's website perhaps, or any of the YouTube channels or roseslive.com, I hope you're enjoying. This is the open second. How are you finding it? I'm really enjoying it. I think the matches are about to start yet again on courts 2 and 3. We've just got some warm-ups so far.
No, I'm really enjoying this. This is my first Roses, and I'm just overwhelmed by the atmosphere and the amount of people that turn up to see these games. And
Oh no,
support.
I'm the same. This is my first Roses, and it's absolutely electric.
Sometimes it's not so obvious that the amount and diverse range of sports that are going on in the background.
And not only sports, but in general, the amount of different things going on.
I know there's the canoe polo later on today.
Canoe polo, and there's been like underwater hockey, I think.
There's the pole fitness, I think, is this weekend.
I think there's been like board games like chess. There's squash. We're currently covering badminton. There's a huge amount of things. And quite a lot of it's also worth points as well. It's absolutely great.
Yeah, the open second day is worth 2 points, so utterly crucial for these teams to win and try and bring glory for their respective universities.
Yeah, because the most I think you can actually win is, I think, 9 points. Sorry, 4 points even, for like one match. So you can only win, 4 points at max.
Oh, and it seems like players are zooming on court 2.
Yeah, I think they're about to start on court 2. They've started on court 3 with amazing action going on.
Seems to be really powerful rally. Oh, and it just slips past the hands of the York player. And the point and serve Lancaster.
Yeah, very, very unfortunate there. But yeah, yet again, very, very close.
On court 2, there's another rally.
Lancaster on the defence. They just hit a drop shot. York return with a lob. Overhead from Lancaster. Break through York's defences. Point to Lancaster there.
Just slipped past the racket of the York player. He got to it in time, but just wasn't enough time to line up a shot.
And on court 2, oh, sorry about the voice crack there. On court 2, it's very close. I think Lancaster made an unfortunate mistake there. Point to Lancaster. Point to York. York to serve. York are also serving on court number 3. I can barely hear myself talk.
Oh, but it's a foul serve for York on court number 3.
The crowds are just absolutely amazing here. They're all so enthusiastic.
You can see some great signs that friends and family members have made for their players.
But yeah, it seems at the minute York doing very well on court number 2 and court number 3, in fact.
Oh, I think court number 3, they just lost the serve. It slipped onto the net.
Yeah, and Lancaster to serve. On the York are on the defence after receiving overheads and a drop shot.
Oh, last-ditch attempt. Oh, no. He didn't. He managed to pull one miracle shot out on court number 3, but didn't manage to return.
It was unfortunate. one of the players missed the shot. The other player managed to get it back over the net, but not well enough. And on court number 2, Lancaster are to serve. Lob from Lancaster as well. Overheads from Lancaster. Drop shots as well. Really mixing it up, getting all the players to move around. Just out of bounds for York. Point to Lancaster on court number 2. York are they're currently not serving on court number 3. And it seems at the minute on court number 3 they're very much on the defence as well.
On court number 3, playing for York is Felix and Alex. And playing for Lancaster is Fussy and Edwards.
But yeah, it's been very, very close round here.
It really has. The dynamics of the games this late in the competition is just so back and forth.
And York are doing amazing. York are doing brilliantly here. Great set of shots on court number 2.
And it's into the net for Lancaster on court number 3 and serve to York. And into the net for York on court number 2 and it's served to Lancaster.
It's
serve to York.
It's very much, I say, give and take. It's so close. Unfortunate there from Lancaster. It just went under the net. Point to York on court 2. I think Lancaster are serving on court number 3.
On court 2, York setting themselves up offensively. And Lancaster are falling back into a defensive position.
Yeah, but unfortunately on court number 2, whilst Lancaster were on the defence, York just couldn't quite make it. And York, oh wow, that was an amazing shot from Lancaster there on court number 3. Looks like they were going to go for an overhead, faked it and did a drop shot instead. That was great. But it's so close. I mean, York are now serving on court 2 again.
There's a lot of gamesmanship going on here as players try and disguise how they're going to play shuttle.
Yeah.
And it's into the net for Lancaster and serve to York.
I think York were on the attack there during that point. There wasn't much Lancaster could do other than try and get it back over the net there. And similarly there for Lancaster on court 3. Oh, sorry, for York on court 3. Amazing defence from them, but not quite enough to get them the point. And York to serve on court number 2.
Lancaster serve on court number 3. Oh, and tried to softly return that shuttle and it just hit the net.
Oh, that was a lucky shot there. Court number 2. Just before 11 o'clock. Just went over the net. And not quite fortunate that time for Lancaster. Went out of bounds and on to court number 3, in fact.
Yeah.
York to
Wrong
serve
court,
on
mate.
court number 2. York are very much on the attack on court number 3 as well. But great defence from Lancaster, who have now started attacking themselves and won the point.
Strong rally on court number 3, but it just didn't go the direction he wanted for York on court number 3.
No, and York are now serving on court number 2 as well. That would have been a great attack from Lancaster. Unfortunately, it went into the net. Couldn't quite make it work there. And that was a great return from Lancaster, court number 3.
York serve on court number 2, and Lancaster had it just in bounds. York let it get to the floor, and now it's Lancaster serving.
Yeah. And this is really, really close. Both teams are playing very well. Lancaster make another mistake, hit the shot into the net on court number 2. Quite unfortunate. York serving on court number 2. Lob from York. Overhead from Lancaster. York are already on the bench, but now they're trying to offense. But unfortunately, their overhead goes into the net.
And that's another point for Lancaster. They're currently not certain on the scores as they're a bit obscured by the crowd. So
Yeah, however, hopefully on the TV streams, you should be getting glimpses of the scores now and then. Fingers crossed. And it seems there's a bit of exasperation there from court number 2 for the York team as an overhead goes quite badly out.
And it seems like they're taking a little bit of a break.
I think they're
Just
trying to find the
reset.
shuttlecock.
Oh.
Yeah, I think they're trying to get. They wanted to use the shuttlecock they had, but it wasn't new, so they just got a new shuttlecock out for court number 2.
And it's
They're still playing on court
Lancaster.
number 3. York to serve. Great overheads from Lancaster to return. Lancaster get the point, and on court number 2, amazing defense from Lancaster.
Oh, and
I mean,
a Henrik fan is on the floor
He was
trying
on
to
the
save that
floor
shot.
earlier to get that drop shot and save the point. And they did it. That was amazing from
it
Lancaster
really
on court
paid
number 2.
off.
That was, I think they were just hoping to get the shot back.
That was one of the plays of the day, I think.
Yeah, 11. I think that's definitely going on the highlight reel.
Yeah, putting his body on the line to try and save that point.
And on court number 3, York are about to serve. Lancaster serving on court number 2. Lancaster and men on the defence as York keep hitting home heads, but it went out. That is another point to Lancaster on court number 2. And York continue to serve on court number 3. Yeah, very long points on court number 2. Very tight, and unfortunately that shot just goes wide for Lancaster. Point to York.
And on court number 3, it seems like Lancaster just won a point and they're now serving.
And wait, I think Lancaster might have hit one of the Lancaster players hit his teammate.
Teammates are useful until they aren't.
What?
Teammates are useful until they aren't, and then they're in the way of a shot.
But yeah, Lancaster were very much on the offensive on that point as well. They got the point. York's shot went into the net.
Lancaster seems to be playing offensively now.
Another break, or they may have finished. A great attack there from Lancaster as well.
And York's shuttle just didn't go where he wanted it to.
No, they were on the defence again from the beginning. Wasn't quite enough.
Oh, it's in the net for Lancaster. Obviously, clearly annoyed about that one.
But yeah,
and it's York's serve on court number 2. Having a quick discussion in a fence formation. And got a rally going here with Lancaster. Both teams playing quite defensively. Oh, and the dramatic move from Henrik didn't play off this time.
That was amazing, though. I mean, it's just been, as I said, it's so close.
These teams are really fighting for every single point. They know how important it is in such close battles. And serve for York. Pop just over the net. And it's a strong rally.
From Lancaster.
But
York tried to do an overhead, but unfortunately went into the net.
And it's served to Lancaster. Oh, really nice shot by York there to return it, but it's out of bounds for Lancaster.
Yeah.
Oh no, it was inbounds.
That's it.
And Lancaster with the serve. The teams really seem to be favouring the more delicate hops over the net at the moment. And
so it's just very close. Both are really pushing each other's defence. So, yeah.
And serve for York. It seems like the match is finished on court number 3. Oh, and it's the match finished on court number 2 as well.
Yeah, I think they might be.
It looks like a dejected Lancaster
they
team.
might be going for a break. But that was a great set of play from both teams.
Maybe they're not dejected. I can't quite tell what the score is.
No. As I said, we know it's very close. I can just about see the score. Well, I can see the right-hand side of the scoreboard now currently. That's about it, unfortunately.
And it seems like another match is getting underway on court number 3.
it seems that they're. I think this is the same match. I think it's
Oh,
the
this
next set. Next set. Which I think is going to be the same for court number 2.
And it's into the net for York and serve Lancaster.
Lob from York on court number 3.
Strong overheads.
Strong overheads. York defending well, but just not well enough.
The powerful shots really paying off Lancaster there as they earn another point. And another set is now underway on court number 2 as well.
That shot was just out from York. Lancaster serve. Lob from Lancaster. Overheads from York.
Oh, that was a quick rally.
York, but unfortunately not enough. Lancaster still serving on court number 2.
They seem to sacrifice speed for accuracy there.
And court number 3, this is an amazing point. That was a brilliant, brilliant set of shots from York to get the point on court number 3. And on court number 2, it seems they're just strategizing for York to get underway with serving.
Oh, and York lose the point there.
No.
As the strong shot didn't pay off on court number 3.
Unfortunately, I think Lancaster's shot was just out there. So it's point York. York are also serving on court number 3. But they are already on the defense. Wasn't enough from York.
That was a spectacular shot for Lancaster on court number 3. Managed to get past the York defense.
Yeah, it's really, really, really tight. And on court number 2, slightly failed overhead there from Lancaster. Means that York get the points. And York are also serving on court number 3. But, this is an amazing point on court number 3. I mean, York are on the attack, but Lancaster's defense is good. Not quite good enough, I think. No, it is York serve still on court number 3. On court number 2, Lancaster are serving. But it's so tight. I think you'll agree. This has just been amazing to watch throughout.
It really is. There's such close matches constantly. Sets are being won almost equally by each side. And serve for York on court number 2.
But yeah, I mean, amazing attack.
Oh, and
amazing defense from York there. Not quite enough on court number 2.
Sometimes the really spectacular moves pay off on one return, but
it means you're in a bad position for the next set of shots.
It really does.
Like, that was... I think that might have been in.
That was in for the Lancaster team on court number 2.
On court number 2, that lob... I think he was nearly on the floor trying to get it. Amazing lob there.
Oh, but out of bounds for their serve on...
No.
Oh, no, it was in.
Good serve. And it was, however, out of bounds for Lancaster on court number 3 on the overheads. Tried a bit too much. An amazing shot from York to get the point there on court number 2 as well.
And it's serve for Lancaster and point for Lancaster on court number 3.
On court number 2. Good defence, good returning shot from Lancaster even. And didn't do quite enough to get it back.
The overhead didn't pay off for Lancaster on court number 3 as it finds the net. Serve for York. Both teams playing quite offensively.
Yeah, especially Lancaster just now on court number 2. It was very, very tight, but they've managed to get through the defences of both players on court number 2, the York team. And again, great attacking.
Serve for Lancaster on court number 2. Oh, and it just slipped off the racket of the Lancaster player on court number 2. They're successful and they're so proficient at this game, but sometimes just not quite enough.
Yeah,
And it's finding the net for York on court number 2 and serves Lancaster.
Yeah, and it is out of bounds for Lancaster on court number 3 as York now serve. An amazing drop shot from York as well on court number 2. Well, Lancaster just can't quite get to it.
Again, Hemrick was throwing himself on the floor to try and save a last shot, but again, it didn't work. Seems like a signature move of his.
Yeah, and a set of lobs from Lancaster and great defense as well, but it seems that they were the ones who came out on top. You wouldn't have suspected. York had so many overhead opportunities. Another lob from Lancaster on court number 2. Overheads from York. Very, very tight. Great defense from Lancaster. And into the net for York, court number 2. How unfortunate.
Well, on court number 3, York let the serve drop, thinking it was out of bounds, but it was in. So Lancaster earned the serve again.
Amazing set of points there from Lancaster and York on court number 2. A net, I think it's what you class as a net cord drop shot. It hit the net and then just went over, and then Lancaster managed to get it back. But that was a bit too much on the overhead. Bounced actually on the floor before going under the net.
Yeah, just too steep an angle there, and didn't manage to find its way. And they're having a quick discussion on court number 2, the York players. Maybe a change of strategy. Try and earn some more points.
Yeah. But it is very close. I think that shot was just out for York there on court number 2. And court number 3, I think they're very tight. It's Lancaster to serve. And yeah, York were on the attack there. That was a great shot on court number 3. Brilliant overhead right at the feet of the Lancaster players. Lancaster is serving on court number 2.
The shuttlecock finding its way to tangle itself in the net on court number 2. And
great attack from Lancaster. They were on the attack from the entire point. I'm sorry, they were the ones returning, not serving. But yeah, no, it was great attack. They were just attacking every single shot from the start. And that player ducked on court number 2 as York hit a massive overhead.
Ducking out of the way
net.
to try and ensure the shuttlecock didn't hit any of the players and hit the floor. And possibly finding a new shuttlecock on court number 2. And point for York, it seems, on court number 3. Possibly set over on court number 3.
Possibly.
Again, we're unclear on the scores as they're obscured by the crowd.
They've got a third set to play. We don't know. But it's going absolutely brilliantly. Oh wow, that was an amazing drop shot from Lancaster. It's really tight on court number 2.
Yeah,
pushing. All the players are pushing each other to do as best as humanly possible.
Yeah, the York players just trying to put everything on the line to try and claw back some more points.
Overheads from York. Lancaster are on the defense. Now on the offense again. Drop shot in the net. Just wide from York.
And serve for Lancaster on court number 2.
York just now went into the net.
Yeah, York really are quite successful and efficient though, switching between offensive and defensive formations.
Both of them are. Especially I think Lancaster, certainly at the minute, of these specific teams. But York's, I think, defence in general is so great.
And that shot is out of bounds for York, not managing to get over the net. And it seems like they're taking a quick break.
Yeah, it seems they're taking a quick break on court number 2.
But action's just resumed on court number 3.
Yeah, if you're joining us on Berwick FM or URY, or even the Roses Live website, we're currently doing the open second for badminton, and it's going very good. I mean, currently we've got Lancaster who have just hit a shot under the net, unfortunately. on court number 3.
Yeah, they're competing here for 2 points, so it's really important that they win these matches.
Very, very important.
And it's serve for Lancaster on court number 3.
Yeah, and I think we're going the distance. We're going another set on court number 2. And it is York to serve on court number 3. Lob from Lancaster, overhead from York. Now an overhead for Lancaster. York on the defence, but unfortunately the drop shot for Lancaster doesn't go over on court number 3. Points to York.
Yeah, just not enough power behind that shuttle.
No, and Lancaster unfortunately just hit a shot into the net. Very unfortunate.
Oh, but a great shot there on court number 2 for Lancaster. Scoring another point and earning them the serve.
Yeah. Great set of shots from both teams there on court number 2. Lancaster in general at the minute are on the defence. But it's great, and that is such a shame. The shuttlecock clips the net and barely goes over. There was no way that anyone was getting to that one, unfortunately.
Really trying to save it with every last inch of ground you can make up to try and get to that shuttle in time.
And on court number 3, it's going well. Lancaster to serve. And they just played a very nice point, finishing with an overhead winner. And York hit it into the net. What an unfortunate turn of events.
And court number 3, really high-speed rally going there. Changing the dynamic of the game as they start to slow it down. Returning between the front and back of the court. Oh, but Lancaster couldn't reach shuttle in time. And it's point and serve for York. On court number 2, it's serve for Lancaster. Oh, and quite a high-speed rally here. Oh, and it manages to find its way past the York players. And it's point and serve for Lancaster. Hopefully you have the points on the stream, but unfortunately for the commentators here, we cannot see where the scores lie or how far ahead some of the partners are. Oh, and a shot by York there, find its way past both Lancaster players, right between their 2 feet. And on court number 3, seems serve for Lancaster. Oh, and it's into the net. So serve to York. York playing more an offensive position than we've seen them so far today. And it's again into net for Lancaster. Maybe late in the game they're running out of steam. And on court number 2, it's also serve for York. Conversing there, possibly changing their strategy. Oh, but the shot didn't quite make it over the net. And court number 3, there's a strong rally going. And Lancaster find its way past York, and it's point to them. On court number 2, York finds the net, and point and serve to Lancaster. It's into the final stretch for both of these matches. And it's a bit of a lull in the game. Oh, and on court number 3, oh, York finds the net. This is really not what they need to be doing at this point of the game, in the match. Quite a high-speed rally going on. Oh, and it's out of bounds for Lancaster.
Yeah, it's a very, very tight match. I think you'll agree. It's really because I think, it's Lancaster's serve now. It was a great overhead shot for them. And it seems, I think we're back on play for court number 3.
Yes, we are, and it seems, oh no, it's on court number 3, it seems like they're taking a quick sip of water. They're really exerting themselves here today.
Yeah, it's surprisingly quite physically exerting. And unfortunately, that shot on court number 2 doesn't go over the net for Lancaster. It's a point to York. York to serve.
They're having a quick discussion, maybe changing what they're trying to do. And it's out of bounds for yeah. So it's served to York.
Yeah, it's very, very close, but York have just had the edge on those last 2 points. And I think Lancaster are doing quite well on court number 3. Very, very powerful shots to seal the point, as it were.
Yeah, they're really finding strength in their offense today.
Yeah, but in general, I think both the teams have good offense and amazing defense. It is very hard to get a point off of either of these players. It's very, very difficult to get a point, get a shot past them. It's absolutely amazing to watch.
Yeah, and it's an instant net for Lancaster, and it's served to York on court number 2.
Yeah, and on court number 3, we've sort of got an amazing point going. It was initially Lancaster on the offence, but they were on the defence, and they just lost the point after an amazing overhead shot from York.
Yeah, he just wasn't quite able to make enough contact with his racket. And, it managed to slip over the head of one of the players, but thankfully his teammate was there to get it for him.
Yep. And I think it might be a changeover for court number 2. They're swapping sides. And yeah, it is Lancaster to serve on court number 3, where a drop shot from York and Lancaster, and a big shot from Lancaster to seal out the point. One of the York players got their hands on it, but couldn't quite get it back over the net.
That was such a good move by Lancaster. And they earned themselves a serve again. Oh, and that was a spectacular serve. I'm not sure quite why York didn't try and meet it. Perhaps thinking it was out of bounds.
But yeah, this is going amazing. It's absolutely, it's just so close. It's been amazing to spend, you wouldn't think it's 2.5 hours that we've actually been here, but it has, and it's been absolutely amazing.
And into net for Lancaster on court number 2 and serve to York. And it seems like they're warming up on court number 1, perhaps for the next event.
Yeah, and on court number 3, York are serving. But it's very, very, very tight on court number 2. Lancaster hitting a series of overheads to win the point.
And it's served to York on court number 3. They're positioning themselves quite offensively.
Yeah, it seems that both teams at the minute are being very, very offensive in their shot play.
Both York teams seem to be having the serve, and a strong overhead for Lancaster.
Yeah, and another one again on court number 2 to seal out the point. It's been great. Wow, amazing defence from Lancaster. They turn it into offence with an amazing overhead after a lob from York, and York just couldn't get there in time. Point to Lancaster. And on court number 2, just now, that was a shot just wide from Lancaster. Point to York.
And York serving also on court number 3. It must be late in the set for them at this point.
It must be, as it's going to be very, very tight. But that makes it all the more enjoyable.
It really is. These two teams are so evenly matched. And it seems to be out of bounds, possibly for Lancaster, and serve for York again on court 3. Strong overhead. But it didn't quite give it the shuttle enough height, and it's into net for Lancaster. Serve again to York. They must be making up some big points here.
Just check the scores for court number 2. As of recently, it was 1 set all and 15-14. So it is very, very, very close.
Oh wow, that's such a neck and neck game. They'll really be giving everything to try and win every point.
And the thing is, it's still very close. I mean, on court 2 right now, it's amazing. Both have turned defense into attack at various different stages. And it's unfortunate for Lancaster, they've just dropped that. It went into the net and didn't manage to go over the net. And similarly on court number 3. Quite unfortunate. And I think that might be, yeah, on court number 3, that is the end of the match, unfortunately. But we turn to court number 2, where York are playing, I think, quite well, but Lancaster just a teensy bit better on the last few points. Lancaster are to serve. But yeah, it's been really, really tight. What do you think?
It's just been such a fascinating dynamic in all of the matches here today. And again, the serve switches sides and York start again. The points just really are back and forth.
Yeah, and unfortunately just recently Lancaster hit a shot into the net. So it was York's point, and York unfortunately missed a returning shot after they were serving. So another point to Lancaster, but it's so tight at this point. You can imagine how tired they are. Another point to Lancaster as they hit a shot right past each player.
They must be in the final stretch here now.
They are. They must be so exhausted. I mean, I imagine I would, but they're still playing brilliant. Amazing attack from York. Massive overheads.
Keeping this rally going on and on.
But yeah, it is currently Lancaster who are coming out on top with amazing defence.
And it's Lancaster to serve. Oh, there seems to be some confusion on positioning on the York side. Oh,
Lobs from Lancaster to try and keep them in the point. Amazing defence. And that was just wide from York. It was a massive overhead. But yeah, it's been so close throughout the entirety of this match. It's been absolutely amazing. And it went into the net from Lancaster, unfortunately. Point to York. This is so close.
Visible frustration there for the Lancaster players.
And I think visible frustration in general. I mean, it's so tight, and of course you want to win the match. And that was an amazing lob that went in. Frustration from the York team. I think it's all over. I think that match went to Lancaster. That was so close. That was an amazing match. What do you think?
It was one of definitely the best matches of the day.
I just seen the final score. 2-1 to Lancaster. But in that third set, it was 21-18. So close.
And those points can be earned in so few decisions that every act they did counted.
Yeah, and it seems that there's still warm-ups going on court number 1. You might just be able to see in preparation for what I assume is going to be the final match, actually. Speaking of final matches, if you look at the other streams that are currently playing, we've got, I think, what is the final match for the women's seconds going on online. But yes, we are, I think, down to the last few matches for the open second as players warm up in preparation.
The open players supporting the women's players here.
I think everyone's been supporting everyone, in fact, because I think it's that they all know each other.
Badminton's a real community for all of these players.
And that's one of the great things about Roses, but also sport in general. It's just a really good community. And you can hear the crowd. Everyone is cheering on after each point. It is so close. But yes, I think at the minute, everyone's left the men's open second to watch the match at the women's second. I mean, what are your thoughts?
I think it's really nice that the players get to witness each other in their final matches, because these people work together multiple times a week and spend so much time together that it's it's incredibly heartwarming to see them cheering each other on.
I'm going to go check to see if men's is done.
Okay, so maybe tune into the women's second if you want to see some real neck-and-neck badminton. The current score is 16-18 to York.